I got a burp so bad, but it's not coming out. No. Okay. Sorry if y'all hear them in the back. They decided that they wanted to work on construction or whatever they wanted to do for today. They really thought they ate with that. All right, so happy new year. It's been months, but you know when like the seasonal depression and adulting and all of that start taking place, then it just gets annoying and then you're like, yeah. So anyway, I haven't streamed in forever, and I was thinking about playing Sims today, but then I was watching VHS, and I was like, I kind of want to talk about VHS. By the time I finish talking about VHS, I already know I'm gonna just be like, yeah, I just don't feel like playing that. So we'll see. But anyways, yeah, happy new year. Hope everybody is safe, healthy, having a good time. Yeah, so just so we not staring at this screen, I did just throw like some pictures together with the VHS like stuff on there so that way we don't gotta stare at this boring screen together. So let me see if I can figure this out first, and then we could go ahead and start talking about VHS. Excuse me, why is my phone vibrating? All right, let me see. Okay, yeah. Listen, I am not tech savvy. Like Twitch studios be looking like Photoshop. Like, ooh. Okay, so first things first. Hold on. Let me double check something. Okay. I'm excited to talk about VHS because I haven't watched a franchise in a minute. Usually I just watch movies and like it is what it is, but I haven't sat and watched something like this in a while. Also, these are like I said, these are just a couple pictures, so they're gonna hopefully I have it on replay, so it better keep replaying it or I'm gonna be salty. But anyway, let's get started. So VHS, if you don't know about VHS, how dare you not know about VHS? VHS is a found footage franchise. If you don't know what found footage is, that's basically just the POV movies. So like your Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project. Who else? It's so many found footage movies. I feel like it was just a time period where like people was just dropping found footage, and it was just like, all right, it's getting a little tired. Don't nobody want to keep watching that. But VHS was one of the first found footage movies. Excuse me. They're so loud back there. One of the first found footage movies that I watched aside from Paranormal Activity, because Paranormal Activity literally traumatized me, so I like wasn't watching found footage anymore. You couldn't tell me that Paranormal Activity was not real. Like it was real. So that's another franchise I have to sit and talk about. But VHS. Okay, yeah. Oh no, it is repeating. Okay. So there are what, three, four, there's five VHS movies. And crazy how when I started watching this and finished it, there's probably going to be another one sometime this year, and it's probably going to release on Shudder. Which, if you are a horror movie person, highly recommend just getting a subscription for Shudder. Only thing with Shudder is like it's a lot of like older movies. So if you're not necessarily into like the 70s and 80s, you're probably not going to watch Shudder, but I feel like it's nice to like see all that old stuff. But the VHS 99 was released on Shudder, so most likely that newer one is going to be released on Shudder. So I'm just saying. So first, let's talk about the first VHS, which I do have the review on my. Let me see. Do I have my Instagram up? I think I do. Hold on, let me see. Yep, it's right here. Let me do a little quick situation. Okay. All right. So, oh wait, no, this is the second one. My fault. When did this come out? Yeah, this came out 2012. The first VHS, hands down, as always, the first movie is always going to be the best movie. Um, so there's different. Okay, so the way VHS is shot is there's different segments. And for the most part, like that first segment is going to be what is like that main foundation. So tape 56, I believe, is like the burglars who are trying to find this tape for someone. And that's our foundation. Like we're always going to come back to these dudes looking for this tape because it's shot with them looking for the tape in this house. And then we see that this one guy is like going through all of these tapes, hence, which is all of these other tapes here. So, Amateur Night, Second Honeymoon, like these are all the tapes that we're going through. The first one, so good. Like this VHS, I could say like every single one was good. The sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger, yeah, I could do without that. I could do without that. Amateur Night. Girl, I wonder if we could just get like a small little clip of Amateur Night, but I don't know. It's pretty graphic. But I did pull up the trailer, so we could watch the trailer and see if that shows. Like, I just don't want nothing too graphic to show up, cause I'm gonna be like, cause this the VHS is really graphic. Like, if you're not here for the graphic, like this was Amateur Night. Amateur Night was about these dudes who had like the one dude as you saw like right here, he had like some glasses with a camera in it, and they go to the club, and then he sees this one girl, and this is the one girl, and like this whole part right here was pretty graphic, but this carried like the whole movie. Like, what was Tuesday the 17th? Oh, that jump was trash too. Oh yeah, so these two, I could do without these two. Second honeymoon, I'm like, work. Amateur night carried. This one was like some cult thing. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of like horror movies and anything with cults because I'm so over it. Like, okay, you're in a cult. Like, oh gosh, I just watched something the other day that was like so good, and then like it was a cult, and I'm like, come on, man. Ain't we all tired of cults? It can't just be me. But anyways, let me see. All right, I'm gonna play the trailer. Hopefully, please don't be loud. Okay. So until we can skip her. Oh my God, it's Megan.
Megan, answer me. What did you do?
What did you think was going to happen?
I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really? Is that where we are? Baby, don't you? Taking care of.
I heard Megan was
Okay, here's the
trash.
deal. We gotta break.
Okay, so this is the trailer here. We're gonna watch this. Please. Did amateur night. Adam. Oh no, David. Yo, shout out to David. Amateur night carried. Like, go watch this John. Go watch it. And then like when something do so well, and then they're like, all right, let's drop another one, and then it just flunks. Like the second one was okay. My beans don't show up, but how many beans did I give it? Oh, surprisingly, I gave it 5. A Ride in the Park for sure, in my opinion, carried VHS 2. Bruh, someone's base is going crazy. Yo, people crack me up. This is the second one?
What the hell is that?
Megan, listen.
What are you?
I understand your movie's about to come out. Well, I think it is out. I feel like they gave Megan like comedic relief, and yeah, we're gonna stop because graphic. Alright, now I'm already watching the second trailer. I'm like, alright, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't that bad. A Ride in the Park was for sure my favorite one. That one was about this guy who literally is riding his bike in the park and he comes across someone and they're a zombie. Like, A Ride in the Park should be a zombie apocalypse movies. Like the way A Ride in the Park came, like you wouldn't even think it was gonna be about zombies. The phase one clinical trials, honestly not the biggest fan of that one. That one, a guy had got like his eye replaced and like he was seeing all this weird stuff. And then what was Safe Haven? Oh, that was the one that I just paused because it this whole segment here is so graphic. Like this whole entire segment was basically like this woman like birthed this like demon baby. It wasn't even a demon baby. Oh, that scene like freaked me out when I first saw it. Like it was so like just what am I watching? And then the slumber party joint, like honestly, if I would have watched that like years ago when like alien abductions like really freaked me out, I probably would have been like, dang, that was scary. But okay, okay, VHS 2 was it was good. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. I really enjoy like when movies can have like the different directors. Like it kind of oh my stomach is growling. It kind of reminds me of ABC Deaths, but I cannot watch ABC Deaths. Like oh my god, I you want to talk about traumatizing? ABC Deaths is trauma, darling. Trauma. I definitely do not recommend watching that if you are like, I cannot watch graphic stuff. I can't remember what letter it was. I want to say it was P. Because ABC Def's like all the directors, they get a letter and then they base their short film on a word that starts with that letter. So, say, like, I got the letter C and I wanted to do, and then my word was like cereal. I would make like a short horror film revolving around cereal. Like, oh, maybe I had like a poisonous cereal somebody ate, and like stuff like that. Girl, I want to say it was the letter P. Whoever did that letter, shame on you. Like, I'm pretty sure it was P. I want to say, like, with my chest out, like it was that. But VHS is sort of like that, where it's like all the different directors, and it's like really nice to see like all types of people do their thing. The third one though, tomato, tomato. So yeah, I'm surprised I gave it a four. Why did I give it a four? Okay, I didn't put the segments, but what was my handy dandy IMBD reminds me what the heck is going on. I'm pretty sure it was like a magician, and then it was oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, is that the third one? Yeah. So the third one was this guy who wanted to like be all famous or something. And so it was this car chase happening. And this was the best one. This was the best one. This was the best one. That was the best one. Because it was the guy who, like I said, you're always going to go back, putting in every horror film. The one that carried was the Dimension John, which was, let me see, y'all got a picture of that? Which was this joint right here. This was good. This was good. Who was trying to send me a message? Like, come on now. This one was good. So, we're just going to talk about this one because this carried the third one because I feel like the magician one was because what a magician, ice cream truck, cult, and that was it. And then you got the parallel universe John. Excuse me. So this guy makes this little time machine, whatever you want to call this thing here, and basically he goes sees himself in another dimension. And what's crazy is like when they decide they're gonna swap, and when they see each other's home, they realize like I think one home had like the picture of like the husband and the wife, and then when you go to the other home in the other dimension, it's like this other weird like picture. And the guy is like basically like what the heck is this? Like, what is this? Long story short, you find out that this guy is like some alien like creature thing, and the way you find out is crazy. Now, I'm not going to tell that part. You got to go watch it. But this segment right here was it was wild in like the wildest way. Like the wildest way. Like so unexpected. Like I'm like I just wonder like what do these directors do that make them think like I gotta put this in the segment. I gotta put this in there. Cause bro, why did you need to put that in there? So yeah. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. I wonder if they got a picture of that. They probably don't. I don't see why they would have a picture of that. But watch it. Watch it. You're gonna know what I'm talking about. How many photos? I only got 17 photos. I feel like it was something else in the third one that I kind of enjoyed, but I feel like looking at these pictures, it definitely was just that. Yeah, I don't. I guess not. So 94, so this one was actually on Shutter, which is why I was saying like if you watch horror movies, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember anything from 94. Not a let me look at the pictures, that'll help me remember. Yeah, this John was trash because I'm looking at the pictures, I don't even know what's going on. Maybe I should look up the trailer.
Police search warrant! Police search warrant!
Do not touch anything.
Could be no one left alive in here.
Do I just press the button?
Press the red button.
Just press it.
I assume they're paying extra for this.
Yes.
This is a remarkable story.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember now.
Hello? Hello?
Holly?
Now this segment was kind of cool.
Compression technology veggie masher turns your vegetables into a tasty, mouth-watering paste.
Now that one segment looked, excuse me, slow your roll there, buddy. Now that one segment was kind of cool because like it looked like a video game the whole time. Which one? It was this one right here. Now I can't remember exactly what the T was on that. See, when things don't capture my attention, I put 2021. I'm pretty sure I just said 2022. Um, when things don't really capture my attention, I literally can't remember like anything. But this, I remember it being like video game-ish, like FNAF animatronic type time, and that was good. But again, like, how many times y'all gonna do this? How many times you gonna put a cult? Like, that's what this whole thing was, because I think it was like the SWAT team went to go like find tapes or something like that, and then in the warehouse they were discovering like it was a cult situation going on while they were in there. So I'm so exhausted by cults. Please. Please. 94 I think is the worst one. Like if I had to rate them, I would do the first one for sure, the second one 99, uh viral, and then 94. I think 94 was like the weakest one. 99, first of all, this I want this framed in my room. Like this looks so good. Oh, I didn't put the things for this either. Like, see, when I like do the directors, like sometimes it'll put their segments next to them. Um, cause too with the starring cast, because there's so many different segments, like is so many different people for each segment. I'm not sitting there putting all that down there like that. So this is about, the 90s or whatever, different segments, and this segment right here is why I placed this third. Because the first and the second one, really good. Like those two, I can say like each segment was like, okay, work. Some of them were weaker than others, but at least with the first and the second movie, you can sit and watch them and be like, I can dig it. The third one, I probably would be like, yo, just watch one segment and if you want to watch the other ones, that's up to you. This one, I feel like now, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. 99 had like some good, like, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Um, aesthetically, the third, I mean, 99 looked really good. Like, I feel like it looked good. But let me tell you something about Sis right here. You want to talk about acting, darling? She had me really thinking I was in the gates of hell watching it. This segment was really good because it was this one, it was the game show one, which that one was weak. Like I just didn't enjoy that one. Like this segment, I found myself constantly picking up my phone. This is the same segment as this one and this one. So let's see what the other. Can I just click it somewhere on here? Or do I gotta go through a whole situation? VHS 99. Boo. Come on, I know it's on here. That's where I'll be getting all my information from. Alright, let's just watch the trailer and see if I can remember.
Remember, fresh souls taste the best.
Oh, that one was good too! Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I got really excited. Like this one, that. Oh, that was. I'm tripping.
And welcome back.
This is a very special episode.
Spend the night in a coffin.
Lily! Lily!
The faster you breathe, the faster you use up your air, so you can't panic.
We have ourselves a winner!
Play or die! Play or die!
Okay.
No. No.
Now, this should have been the third one. This, literally, the first one, the second one, and this one, the best ones. Y'all got anything to say? Yes, like this was the best. This was the best one. This was the best. Now, boo. Ozzy's dungeon was trash. All right. Oh yeah. Now that I had like rewatch it to remember what the tea was. Also, I think I put a picture of that in that media player. Let's see. I could be tripping. I just want to click through to see. Okay. First, let's talk about this segment because this segment is in 99. Girl, first of all, if you're claustrophobic, this is going to hit you hard. So, this is about this girl who she's not in this frame, but she wants to join this what is it called? Is it sorority house or whatever? And like she had this best friend who we only see for like a couple of seconds in the beginning of the segment. And it's like the best friend is kind of hinting at like, yo, these girls, they not about to be your friend. Like you so desperate to be friends with somebody, you gonna end up somewhere you don't want to be, right? They basically get her twisted. They take her out to this grave site. Long story short, there's like this tale about this girl who got buried alive, and like one day she got out of there. Nobody really knows like what's going on, and like my stomach is about to grow. So yeah, and got like what made this get to me was the fact that I am claustrophobic. So watching them put her in that coffin and close it and like start, you know, burying her. And then like she had like a bell that she could ring for when she was like, "Yo, get me out of here." But their whole thing was like, "You ring this bell, well, then you're not going to be a part of our sorority house. Like, you gotta," they told her, like, she gotta survive for, like, it was something like outrageous. It was like a week. It wasn't even like, it wasn't an hour. It wasn't 30 minutes. It wasn't 5 minutes. They said, you gotta stay in here for a week. Are you serious? Are you serious? So, Sis gets buried alive, and then they were so shady, bro. They gave her like this lunchbox, and I can't remember. I think the lunchbox was supposed to be if like she needed like help or something like that, then she was supposed to open a lunchbox. It was almost like she was getting like a hint or something, like in the middle of a video game. You don't know what's going on, so you're like, oh, let me use my hint. That's what the lunchbox was. Girl, she opened the lunchbox up. It was a bunch of spiders. Girl. So then it starts raining, which that don't mix well because they didn't completely bury her. They just buried her, you know, enough, and then it started raining. So like all it was creating mud. So then all of that was kind of just collapsing in because then um they were like, as it started raining, they was out there like, you know, hee hee haw haw, you know, let's get her, cowboy. They was having a good old time. And then the cops had saw like, yo, like what's going on over there? They decide, yo, we gotta leave or we're gonna get expelled. They left her there, and as you can see right here, it say it's like 6 a.m. So they kept her in there. So I think it was like I think the time was showing like 10 o'clock or something like that. So in the midst of them deciding to leave her, she I can't remember what the name of the hotel was, but the girl ends up coming and like, breaking the coffin and it looked freaky. And then they come back and this part right here, as you can see the look of desperate they're like very concerned. They go and see she's not in the coffin. Excuse me. Next thing you know, girl, it cuts in all five of them. Because there's another girl who's obviously holding the camera are buried alive. They got their karma. It was so satisfying. I'm like, if she don't get to them, I'm gonna be upset. Bad ending. Bad ending. This one was just really good to me, just because I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like watching her be in the coffin and then the spiders, the freaking water and everything like caving in on her. Oh my god, yo. I was just and then just like these girls, bro. We all know like in school it was a couple of girls who just did stuff like this and like practically got away with it. Like, girl. I was just this segment was like really good. And then what else was there? All right, then let's talk about this segment. I think it's another segment I liked, unless it was just these two. This segment right here carried this movie, and especially because of this shorty right here. This is Mabel. I only remember her name because of how iconic she was. Like, honestly, this segment could have been a movie. That's how much I freaking enjoyed it. So these two dudes, can't remember their names, pretty generic names, but him and then the one holding the camera was doing something to where they were like again with the cults. Now I'm gonna let it slide because then we transition to this part. We weren't really on the whole cult thing for too long. I'm still giving you a strike because it's cult. I'm tired of it. Okay, I'm tired. But anyway, I think what they were trying to do was take this demon and put it into this lady's body because they were interviewing somebody who was like, oh, I'm gonna do this because XYZ, blah blah blah. So we get to the part where the lady's on the bed or whatever she was on, and like the cult and his friend that's holding the camera, he starts seeing something. He's like, yo, like it's something in here. He's like, yo, chill out. There's nothing in here. He's like, yo, there's something in here. And it basically was like this demon or whatever. So what the ladies ended up doing was basically casting the demon back to hell. But while they did that, homie right here and his friend holding the camera ends up going there too. Crazy. Like that was good. Like this I need this to be a movie. I need this to be a movie. So while they got cast to the HE double hockey sticks and they're trying to figure out what's going on, I mean the atmosphere in this part was so good. I'm just like, bro, I really want to know how production and like, how do they do what they do? Like, what was this setup? Where did y'all shoot this at? Because, like, in the midst of them, so when they find Mabel, Mabel is supposed to take them back to, I think, the demon that they had cast so they can, like, go back because they still were doing, like, the ritual or whatever. So their plan was like, all right, we're going to go back and then we're going to try to go back with I still think they was trying to like put the demon inside of the lady. So that's why they were trying to get back, because if they were calling this demon, then they were going to be able to go back home. So Mabel is basically taking them to where they need to go. And when Mabel is taking them to where they need to go, she is like, I mean, she was acting like when you go to the doctor's office and they're like, follow me, and it's like they're running to the room. You're like, yo, I'm literally losing you. Like, can you slow down? That was Mabel, but like when you see her like walking, it's like mountains and like, I mean, everything about this segment like was so top tier to me. Like, I'm like geeked. I'm about to go watch it as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna go watch it. So yeah, this was just, and it's this one part where like you see like this ginormous demon. I wonder if I could just find like just this segment. Like, or if I could just get like just a small clip. They probably not going to. Please. Please. It's all these endings explained. That's just a short. No, I don't see anything. Boo. Alright. So yeah, this joint carried. It carried. That and the other shorty. The shorty that got buried alive. And alright, spoiler alert, I'm so mad because Mabel uh was supposed to go with them, but then she got bodied, bro. And actually when they got back to, like when they got back home, the two friends got bodied because I guess they thought they were like demons. Bruh. Yeah, this was a good John. This was good. This was good. And I'm trying to think, what else was it? It was this, the coffin. Ozzy's dungeon was not good to me. Like, and it had a really good start, which is kind of annoying because like I love when you go into horror just not really knowing what the tea is. Like you're like, what could this that's why I don't like cult stuff, because we all know when it comes to the cults, either somebody is like getting possessed or something and don't necessarily really know it, and like they don't know, like think of like Midsummer, where like you could kind of hint that it's a, now that's the one movie where it's a cult that was done really well, and I'm like, okay, this is probably the only cult movie that I'll sit and watch. But the way that it plays out is kind of like how some cult movies can be, to where like you go in somewhere, you get the hint that something's not right, and then come to find out it's a cult, and it's just like, okay. Like it was the same thing for Hereditary. I enjoyed Hereditary, but finding out that it was a cult in the end, I was just like, all right. I don't know what I wanted that to be, but I definitely wasn't expecting it to be cult. So just cult stuff. I'm like, okay. I don't even know where I was going with this. I got so upset that like I just started thinking about cults, and I'm like, bro, like I don't need that in my life. What was I talking about? I have no idea. But this carried. This carried. What was I talking about? Ozzy's, what's her name? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was talking about. So when you kind of go into stuff and you don't really know what's going on versus like cult stuff, sometimes you already kind of get the idea that like, all right, I already know where this probably is gonna go. Like especially if you're like a horror movie guru and you like done seen just about everything. That's the one thing about Ozzy's dungeon that I was like, yo, where is this going? Like that's like it had my attention like on something crazy. Cause the way Ozzy's dungeon start is like this game show with these kids, and you're like, okay, where is this going? And basically, yo, oh my God, this girl, she is going through the obstacle course or whatever, breaks her leg, and you want to talk about graphic leg break? It was that. And then like it kept replaying over and over, like it kept rewinding and playing, rewinding and playing, and then nobody was like paying attention to the fact that she just destroyed her leg. And so the mom was like, yeah, mom freaking out. And so then we see the person who's like, it did one of those camera things to where like it's playing something, but then it like pans out and you see like someone is actually playing it on their TV. So it was the mom replaying this one part where her daughter like destroyed her leg, and we see that they holding the host Ozzy captive. So it's like the dad, the son, and we see the daughter who's in a wheelchair now, and her leg looked like it got infected or something like that. Like it looked so bad. And so this is where I was like, oh, okay, work. Like I was curious about what the tea was on this and what was happening. And so then basically the show was like if you won then you get to like make this wish or whatever. And so after like torturing him a little bit, he's like, all right, I'll take you to where you need to go so they can like, do the wish. And like they go there, it's this cave, it's this like really huge person, and like weird, like it was like a weird atmosphere or whatever, work. But my whole thing was like the daughter got her wish, and when she got her wish, like she basically the host, the mom, like everybody like face started like melting off because it was like the huge person was like, I don't know what they were spitting out or what it was, but it was like some sort of acid or something like that. So when it got on their face, like their face started melting. But I'm like, all this build up for this. So that's why that one kind of like didn't work for me. But the shorty in the coffin and this work, work. I'm trying to think what else was I think it was just that. Let me check my Instagram. It's 5 different ones. I'm missing two. Ozzy, to Hell and Back. That was the, oh my god, how could I forget? How could I forget? Oh my god, yeah. VHS 99, which I had such low expectations because when franchises they just drop another, and you're just like, and even though it's different directors, you're like, what what is this? My favorite type of horror is like going into it and being like, what am I watching and how is this going to play out? Cuz sometimes you watch stuff and you're like, I already know how this is going to play out. But when you watch stuff and you're like, I have no idea how this is about to play out. Girl, the segment with the Medusa looking shorty, y'all gotta watch VHS 99. Y'all gotta go watch it. Y'all gotta go watch it. It's, yo, first of all, it had like that perfect balance of like comedic, at least in my eyes, it had that perfect balance of comedic relief, but it wasn't like freaking Barbarian with Justin Long, and like it just wasn't working. It worked because it was a bunch of like teenage boys, and like it was very typical of them to be doing what they were doing, and it worked. Like it worked. It worked. And like these boys basically like had this camera and they was doing, the corny teenage boy. I don't know, please don't be doing this stuff, but like they like had this camera and they was trying to see up girls' skirts and like they was just being a bunch of freaking horny teenagers. Like, boys, sit down. Then we get to this part where they see like their neighbor and they can see through her window. So they were like using the camera and just looking at her and like blase blase. And basically the younger brother of the like, I might as well say he's like the main protagonist. His brother was really good with like cameras and technology, all that type of stuff. So the shorty wanted the brother to install like this webcam, and when he said what he was gonna go do, because they saw that he was talking to her, and they like, yo, like, y'all on first name basis, like, how you know, like all this other stuff. And so he's like, yeah, she wants me to install this camera. Now they finessed the younger brother to put in like this spyware. I'm like, yo, please don't. I'm kind of like, I hated that this was the route because like that that was another thing that kind of made it good because it was like, can you imagine? That's another thing I do with horror movies is like put myself in that position. Can you imagine if a bunch of freaking people was watching you? You already had no idea that they was watching you from a distance. But first of all, I keep my blinds and everything closed, so nobody's not watching me. But can you imagine? And then can you also imagine like someone you trust to install a camera betrayed you and put spyware to where now these dudes can see everything that you're doing. But this was good because I'm like, yo, how is this going to play out? And as we was progressing through it, I'm like, all right, Shawty is going to be like an alien or something. Like we gonna see something we definitely shouldn't be seeing. Like they think they gonna be seeing some bitties and some cheeks. That's not what they're gonna be seeing. They're gonna be seeing like, I don't know, something wild. So he installs the spyware or whatever. They all come back. Well, he comes back and they're all chilling in the room. They're like falling asleep and one guy's playing the game. Like they're just up waiting for something to happen. And like the boys who are in this segment were like so funny. So they finally like something happens and like, they all jump up and the one guy, he's like, oh, I can't wait to see some, and it was just like just desperation. Like, boy, if you don't calm down. So yeah, once that happened, the the brother who installed the camera started feeling really bad that he did what he did. He's like, "Oh, she trusted me, and I feel like a creep." And I'm like, "You should have thought about that before you went over there and put that spyware in her camera." So then, not too long after that, like karma happened, and she's undressing, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go." And then she literally starts ripping off her scalp. And then when she ripped her freaking scalp off, like all these snakes. So it was like, okay, so she's Medusa. At first, she started like breaking her own bones, but then, like, then she like ripped her freaking, literally her freaking scalp. And like, next thing you know, she like comes across the street. She start killing everybody and turning them into stone. That one was good. I enjoyed like the startup. Like I said, I kind of like stuff where you really go into it not knowing like what the tea is. Like, what could y'all possibly be doing in this segment? Like this segment right here that I got on the screen, like I said, it was like it was given cult, so I kind of already knew where it probably was gonna go because it was like given cult. But the production and the acting in this segment just like made me like give it a pass because I just don't like cult stuff. Like it's so predictable. But this joint was good. Now I'm excited to get the next VHS, which I think it's like VHS like 80. I could be lying. I could be lying. It might. I swore it said VHS like 83 or something like that. So we're probably gonna get like a VHS, but it's gonna be tapes from the 80s. I don't know. With movies like this, it's kind of like I feel like you can't necessarily be like, oh, it's probably gonna be good because like it might be like a whole different array of directors and who knows like the route each of them are gonna take because I don't know if any of the directors are in like all of the movies or what, but the VHS 99 was fire. Just for those three segments. I'm trying to think what the other I'm missing one. I'm missing one segment. I can't remember, but I'm excited to see like the new VHS and what that's going to entail. It should be coming out sometime this year, and then it's only going to probably be on Shutter. So get Shutter. Also get Shutter so you can watch this one. The other three, the other four, I don't know what I watched that on. It could have been Amazon Prime. It could have been HBO. I don't know what I watched that on. But if I had to choose what to watch, the first VHS, the second one, and this one. Then if you want to go watch 3 and 94, you could do that. But this was fire. Now I'm hungry after all that talking. Now I said I probably was gonna play Sims, but then I did say I wasn't really sure because I was like, I really want to find like, I wonder if I can find like that Medusa one. See, I'm not trying to watch all of that. I just want to watch a little bit. Like, yo, like VHS one. Uh, what is it called again? Amateur night. Amateur night. I wonder if I could get like a small cup. But see, that was pretty graphic. I don't know how to spell amateur. Oh, they got the ending scene. We could watch that. Oh no, but is it gonna show like biddies? I don't want to show all that. Hold on, let me see what my screen is on. Okay, let me see real quick. Oh, it's age restricted. Then I probably won't be playing that. VHS 2. Ugh. See, that's the one thing about VHS. Like, I'm trying to find like a clip, but VHS is like super graphic. Like, it's especially like the first two. It's so insanely graphic for no reason. Um, that's also another warning. Like, if you don't like graphic stuff, then you probably don't want to watch that. You probably don't want to watch that. Alright, since I can't find nothing, how long I been on this jam? An hour? I'm getting hungry. Yeah, go watch VHS. I'm excited to see what the next one is going to be. If they put freaking cult in it, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to have a problem. Alright, y'all. Maybe I'll play Sims next time. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed just talking about the movie. because that's what I've been watching. Now, I do want to probably watch Paranormal Activity because I'm still trying to figure out like I be seeing like this watch party stuff on Twitch and I don't mind doing like a little movie night or something like that. But I gotta see because my whole thing is like I ain't trying to have nothing like crazy pop up and then next thing you know Twitch want to be acting all crazy because. But I think Paranormal Activity at what? I think Paranormal Activity is PG-13 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but that should be the next franchise I watch. It's either gonna be that or it's gonna be like The Conjuring. But you know, with The Conjuring, you can watch it like release date, but the release date isn't like the order that is recommended. It's supposed to start with like The Nun and then it goes into like The Conjuring 1 and so I'm trying to find where I can watch all of the movies so I can watch them in the order of like the timeline and not the release date. So if I don't watch that, then I'll probably watch Paranormal Activity because I would love to sit and like talk about Paranormal Activity because you want to talk about horror movies that freaking traumatize me? Paranormal Activity was like up there at the top of the list, like with trauma. Because I was going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, but I'm having a hard time finding these movies. Like I am not about to buy and rent a movie from way back in the day. Like no man. So with that being said, I'm still trying to figure out a streaming schedule. So be patient with me. I also want to try to start playing video games outside of Sims, but listen, I have crazy anxiety when it comes to video games. If it's not like Sims or Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, I be freaking out. So patience is a virtue. So we're gonna figure that out. But I kind of like when I'm talking about when I'm really digging into movies, I cannot multitask and play a game. So, yeah, but I think the next franchise should be that voice crack. Paranormal Activity. So when watch all those movies, I'ma come back and then we could talk about that. And I'll just make like another little like slideshow and then talk about my favorites, why I hate it, why I like it, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So I owe you a Sims gameplay. I owe you a Sims gameplay. Maybe when I talk about Paranormal Activity, I might be able to multitask. Probably. No promises. But yeah, y'all enjoy the rest of your well afternoon. I was supposed to go to a meeting at work and I chucked it. Sue me. Like, why don't jobs freaking it is 2023. Okay? COVID really did a number on us. We lost 2 years, okay? Half of us don't even know what is going on. The least you can do is put a Zoom link for these meetings. Ain't nobody going all the way to work for you to talk about something in less than 10 minutes. And y'all not even providing food. Like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit here and talk about VHS because the franchise this is the first franchise I watched in a while that I really enjoyed. Uh so yeah. If anybody asks where I was at for the meeting, I was not here. And you can't prove otherwise. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Make sure you eat, stay safe, happy new year, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye bye.